So welcome to all of you, and today we are going to discuss cell biology, and it is my lecture 2. Okay, and this PPT has been shown by the chemistry tutorial. Okay, so come on the first slide. In this slide we will discuss regarding the nucleus and nucleus parts. Okay, nucleus is also known as information center. Okay, and they contain DNA, they contain nucleolus, they contain ribosomes, they contain nucleoplasm, and it is the site for DNA replication and RNA synthesis. Okay, so since DNA is made up of chromatin, okay, and nucleolus is a dense body, okay, ribosome involved in protein synthesis and RNA processing, okay, nucleoplasm containing the enzyme, for example, DNA polymerase, and site for DNA replication and RNA synthesis involved in the nucleus. Okay, so from this part, several questions can be arises that nucleolus is a part of nucleus. Okay, the question may be arises like that: chromatin is made up of DNA. Okay, and nucleoplasm containing the enzyme. Okay, our question can be asked in this way, that DNA polymerase present in then where nucleoplasm. Okay, or you can say that RNA replication, DNA replication, sorry, and RNA synthesis occur in, then the answer will be the nucleus. Okay, so this in competitive exams, such type of question can be arises from this part. Let's come on the second slide. In the slide, I've mentions the functions of nucleus. So, it contains DNA. It directs cellular activities. Okay. So for cellular activities, nucleolus is response. Okay, nucleolus response for that. Produces ribosomes in the nucleoli. Okay, so if you see the structure of the nucleus, then it is the center, situated in the center of the cell. Okay, and it is the micro. From this structure can be seen by the electron microscope. Okay, and if you see in electron microscope, then it will it looks like that. Okay, this one. Okay, and I have mentions the parts of the nucleus such as cytoplasm. This is the nucleus. Okay, and nucleolus is the center dense body. Okay, so it is the cell actually, and center part is called nucleus. And nucleolus is on the center is present. Okay, so nucleus. Okay, so if you see the structure of the nucleus, then this is the outer part of nucleus. Okay, and in this, chromatin is present. Okay, this is the chromatin. A thread like structure is called chromatin. Okay, nucleolus is the center part, it is a dense part. Okay, so it, if you looks very clearly, then nucleus will be seen like that. Okay, this is the chromatin. It's thread like structure, and it is double stranded. Okay, and it is called DNA strands. Okay, if you see this thread like structure, then uh, it will looks like that. Okay, so this is the DNA. Okay, so chromatin, DNA is made up of chromatin. Okay, so this is the DNA structure. Okay, and you if you see here, this DNA strand is covered by the another parts. Okay, so it looks like that. Okay, so it is the DNA strands, and DNA is made up of nitrogenous base, that is the thymine, adenine, guanine, and cytosine. Okay, and base pair sequences will be present on these thread like structures. Okay, so and so if you see here this DNA strands, then it is made up of nitrogenous base and sugar and sugar. Okay, so this from the nucleoside, and nucleoside plus phosphate affords the your DNA strands. Okay, so it looks like that. Okay, so if you see on the next slide, so it is actually it is all about the nucleus. Okay, so if you see the structure of mitochondria, okay, so it is another part of the cell. So it is elongated and rod shaped. Okay, so you can see here, this is elongated, this is elongation. Okay, and several uh, this 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 type of structure, this thread like structure is present inside that. Okay, so okay, so it is also known as powerhouse of cell. Okay, and maybe as few as 100, as many as several 1000, depending on the activity of the cell. So it present actually number of the mitochondria can be few to 100 or 1000 around that. Okay, but the main function of the mitochondria is synthesis of ATP. Okay, okay. So if you see the structure of the mitochondria, then it is a bilayered, and outer layer is called, or this is the outer membrane. Okay, this is the internucleus space, and this is the inner membrane. Okay, so intermembrane space occur in between the outer membrane and inner membrane. Okay, this is mitochondrial matrix. Okay, so this is the matrix, and this matrix is called mitochondrial matrix. Okay, this is the crista. Okay, so this three like structure is called crista. So question will be arises here that crista is the structure of mitochondria. Okay, so this the another question is that can be asked that intermembrane space is the part of in between outer membrane and inner membrane, or inner space. So the answer will be the intermembrane space. Okay, uh, is present in between outer membrane and inner membrane. Okay, so if you see the this this part, if you cut this part, means intermembrane space, then there are several porins like structure is present. Okay, and there are several types of receptor or proteinaceous body is present, which involve the transporters. And okay, and cytochrome C is also present in this, and through several mechanism it synthesizes the ATP through the ADP. Okay, so if ADP and plus phosphate add, then it generates the ATP, and this process is called phosphorylation. Okay, so in this there are several types of enzymes is also present, and transporters and other proteins present in the outer as well as inner membrane. Okay, so there are various type of mechanism involved for the synthesis of ATP in this. Okay, so next slide, if you see here, see here, this is the, okay, so this is the mitochondria, and I and outer side of mitochondria is this is the outer membrane, and this is the inner membrane. In between internuclear space is internuclear space is present. Okay, and if you see here, there are several type of endoplasmic reticulum is also present inside the cell. And there, okay, so it is only I want to explain this part only. Okay, and mitochondria actually sometimes through fission or fusion they generates the other mitochondria. Okay, so the question will be arises that mitochondria involved through the fission and fusion. Okay, so it is main part of the mitochondria. Next come on the we will discuss the membrane of the mitochondria. So outer membrane is lipid in nature, means we will talk only regarding this. This is the outer membrane, and this is lipid in nature. Okay, so if you freely permeable allows small molecules, means some pores are present in the outer membrane, which help to transportation. Okay, so, so inner membrane is protein in nature. So outer membrane is lipid in nature, while inner membrane is proteinaceous. Okay, high content of cardiolipid. It is very important, and it is permeable. So the question will be arises from this part that cardiolipid is a part of a membrane, means part of where it is found in the mitochondria and in the inner membrane. Okay, forces to form crista surface area. You can see this crista, this is called crista, this is crista parts. Okay, so inner membrane, outer membrane, and crista. Okay, and cardiolipin is present in the inner membrane. Intermembrane space adenylate kinase. So the question will be arises that adenylate kinase is a part of then outer membrane, inner membrane, and intermembrane space. So it is the found in the intermembrane space. Okay, the so we will talk about the matrix of the mitochondria. It has specific circular DNA, ribosomes and enzyme, mitochondrial DNA in maternally inherited. Okay, so if you see the structure of mitochondria, then matrix mitochondrial DNA is present. Okay, and so next we will talk about the function of the mitochondria. That's it is the site for energy production through the electron transport chain. Okay, or it is also known as citric acid cycle. Okay, and it is site for metabolic pathways like TCA cycle, urea cycle, and Fa oxidation. Okay, etc. So the question will be arises from this part that ETC involved in okay, involved in energy production. Our question can also be asked in another way that mitochondria, ETC is found in mitochondria and involved in energy production. Okay, it is also the another question can be asked that mitochondria involved in metabolic pathways such as TCA cycle, urea cycle, Fa, and oxidation. So the next we will talk about the some questions. I have mentioned three questions. Okay. So first question is nucleus contain. So nucleus contain DNA, direct cellular activities and produces ribosomal nucleoli. Okay. So it is the right answer. And other question, the other option if you read, then it is not correct. The next question is inner layer of mitochondria rich in. Then cardiolipin is found in the inner layer of mitochondria. Okay, so it is the very important question. TCA cycle occur in, so TCA cycle where it is occur, it is occur in the inside mitochondrial ribosome, absent in mitochondria, so outside the mitochondria. TCA cycle occur in outside of mitochondria. Okay, so please carefully read when you are going to do any competitive exams. Okay, and solve the mitochondria parts question, then read carefully. Okay, then you will have the correct right answer, otherwise the answer will be wrong. Okay, so it is all about some parts in which I have discussed the nucleus, mitochondria. Okay, so next we will talk about the other parts of the cell organelles. Okay, so thank you for all. And if you are new new you can say अगर आप नए इस चैनल पे हैं तो प्लीज लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब दिस चैनल because this channel is new and by your response this channel can be grow. Okay, so thank you for all.